This is new moon, and I've been talking about it for a few days now, that this is time to manifest, to set intention, to start anew. It's literally this fresh new moon, right? Well, the moon is the same, but it's a fresh new cycle where we're supposed to be, and generally, naturally, we are more excited, more curious, and have that extra jolt of energy to get us going. I mean, it does depend on what's happening with other planets as well, so I'm going to talk about that in a moment. But just generally speaking, this is the time for manifesting something new into your reality. So whatever your manifestation style is, whatever techniques you're using at this point of your journey, this is a perfect time to test them out and to put them to good use, to manifest exactly what you want. And actually, some astrologers actually advise to manifest during new moon for the next 6 months. So of course you can set intention for tomorrow, for this week, for the month of June, but it's interesting to experiment and go as far as like within 6 months what you're seeing to achieve, because in 6 months we're going to have full moon in Gemini, and that's kind of like this kind of cycle. So moon basically has like different cycles, and yeah, you will be able to see whether you've achieved it or not, but this is just an interesting food for thought. Now we have new moon in Gemini. Let's talk about that for a moment, while we also have Jupiter and Saturn in retrograde, Mercury and Saturn in retrograde, excuse me. So yeah, those are like interesting flavors on top of Gemini. Gemini in general is about communication. They are connected with Mercury actually, right? So that's why this new moon is a lot to do with creating connection, with looking closely into our thoughts and words, how we communicate. I actually had, when I was shuffling, oh wow, this is so cool. The card I was gonna talk about was here. It wasn't on top, but this card just fell off and showed me the card, exactly the card I was gonna talk about. So this deck has this beautiful card here, and I actually saw it when I was shuffling the deck before the reading. Your words create worlds. That's exactly what Gemini is telling us, on Mercury actually. On different levels, because I'm not gonna get into planets and signs. You know it all. But yeah, it's about that. So Gemini is asking us to pay more attention to how we talk, to what we think. Do our thoughts correspond to what we're trying to achieve? Do they represent our values? Is that something we want to perpetuate in the reality? Because our words are going to create worlds. So it's partly that. It's also about finding space for curiosity, for asking questions, and also for finding some clarity amidst chaos. We just had our eclipse season. We in this Mercury retrograde space. Tell me if it impacted you, by the way. I would say luckily this Mercury retrograde, and I can almost like build a summer in it because there are a couple of days left it's gonna be over this week. But so far it hasn't impacted me that much. A little bit. There were like a few weird instances of communication, but and my watch broke. Yes, I got a new watch. I mean, is it good? Is it bad? But anyways, it's been pretty, relatively like positive and constructive, I would say. Let's call it that way, constructive. So yeah, it's like all these things, they brought some chaos into our reality. And Gemini full moon is helping us, new moon is helping us find, like, bring the clarity in, right? Have that. It's almost like you wake up with a new perspective on things. And even if you did suffer from any of those transformations in astrological events, it kind of like gives you a new hope, new ideas for what it was all about, for what you've learned and how it's going to help you going forward. And isn't that the ultimate goal, right? So what else? I'm just looking at my notes. Yeah, Saturn in retrograde. So Saturn is about learning. It's about the way we learn. So it's going to challenge you to kind of have an extra idea about the consequences of our decisions, right? And I was just talking about learning, right? So you'll see positive aspects. You may get into like, I've learned my lesson not to do that again. You know, that sort of idea. And that's fine. That's fine. That's also a lesson. That's a big deal as well. So yeah, maybe you'll have some hard thoughts. Just let them kind of drive through you and move to, you know, a bigger and better space. Okay, let me see if I missed anything important. Yeah, so Gemini, of course, is mutable sign, so it encourages us to make transitions, to make shifts, so don't linger in certain energy for too long. It's meant to be presented to you so you can acknowledge it, you can notice it, you can learn something new about it, you can be curious about it, and then kind of let it go like a balloon or like a cloud that's like floating by. Just let it fly. Yeah, so hopefully this new moon is gonna bring some new excitement to your energy, and it's gonna put some wind in your sails, you know, and get you inspired to gather up ideas and, you know, go for whatever those goals are that you're manifesting for yourself. Okay,